Chapter 19 to 20. Wow. Just wow. Everyone was stunned speechless when Goku was reading the book to everyone. They felt like they were reverted back to little kids being read a storybook. They all hung onto every word and looked at each other in surprise. What now? It was a lot to digest. Everyone turned to face Goku, the one was most affected by this information. What they saw was Goku laced in deep thought instead of the shock and wow that they were feeling at this moment. Goku, of course, knew about most of the stuff in the book, but the main reason he asked for it was a cover story and some information that would fill the gaps that he had. Namely, Super Saiyan 4 and if it was possible to achieve it. However, from what Shinran has stated, the Saiyan transformations had different names than before. True Super Saiyan for Super Saiyan 2 and Beyond Super Saiyan for Super Saiyan 3. It does make sense if you look at the function of Super Saiyan 2 and 3 besides the chronological order that they came in. Super Saiyan 3 was always a failsafe form and had a huge problem that the other two main transformations did not have. Super Saiyan 2 was always the state that Saiyans used in long fights before the introduction of God forms because it has no restrictions with all the power. So saying that the Super Saiyan 2 form is the true Super Saiyan form in terms of usability and practicality is correct. However, he didn't dwell too much on that because it didn't really matter what the names were. The main thing that was shouting out at him at this moment was Shadow Dragons. Seeing that Super Saiyan 4 does exist if he just combines the Ape and Super Saiyan forms, it is logical to believe that Shadow Dragons do exist as well. Until he confirms it with Kami and Popo, he has to take all precautions to prevent a potential calamity. The 2 wishes he has done would pave the way to becoming stronger, so he doesn't really need anymore. The next wishes would only be for emergencies, and any wishes that he could prevent, he will do his best. So Goku is from a race called Saiyans? This is a lot to take in. Bulma was a little shaken that she seemingly knew nothing about Goku and his race.
Yeah, no kidding.
No wonder why he is so powerful. He is from a warrior race. Yamcha couldn't help but think of all the advantages Goku had compared to him. However, he would just have to get used to it. Don't forget that he is one of the last of his kind. That must be hard. Chi-Chi pointed out the most relevant piece of information that immediately brought everyone's attention to the surface. Is no one going to bring up this so-called God transformation? After talking a bit more about the book, everyone was satisfied with the excitement that was brought for a time being. Goku was quiet for most of the conversation, feigning the fact that he needed to process the big information. Alright Goku, it is time for the next phase of your training. From what I heard, Bulma is creating something that will make your training harder. You will travel around the world to gain more experience. The rest of us will go back to the Turtle House for more training. Chi-Chi, Bulma, and Goku left towards Capsule Core while Oolong, Rashi, Yamcha, Krillin, and Poir left towards the Turtle House. Arriving at the Capsule Corp, all the repairs have already been done, and it wouldn't be soon before normal operations ensued. Entering the house and looking for Dr. Briefs, they found him in the destroyed laboratory doing work like there wasn't debris around him. Coming up to him, he turned around with a bright smile on his face. Hey kiddos, just working on improving the gravity on the chamber. After the whole escapade that Dr. Briefs endured, he felt that he owed Goku enormously. So in return, he fervently started working on gravity manipulation. Hey Dad, we need a portable gravity chamber. How long do you think that would take? Well, I think that I can achieve 5x gravity in another week or so. Something portable would probably take a lot longer. Well, let's get to it. Week later, Goku routine was pretty standard in the house. Training in the morning, talking with the girls, trying to avoid getting pulled into things like shopping, back to training and sleep. Goku was still stuck in the 2x gravity, just doing exercises that he normally would. There was currently no training partner or combat robots for him to practice on, but he was still growing stronger. 2 weeks later, hey Goku, I finally finished the portable gravity chamber. I call it the gravity belt. Dr. Brief's voice boomed through the gravity chamber, slightly startling Goku, who was doing push-ups right now. Goku just changed to 3x gravity after being under 2x felt normal. Goku left the gravity chamber incredibly sweaty to see Bulma, Chi-Chi, and Dr. Briefs. Seeing the shirtless body of Goku, Chi-Chi immediately looked down while Bulma looked to the left. They both had a fierce blush on their face while the guys seemingly didn't notice as they were focused on talking to each other. This is the gravity belt that will go around your waist. As he was saying this, he was putting on the belt for Goku, making Bulma and Chi-Chi regretful that they didn't volunteer for the role. The belt had a blue circle in the middle with buttons around it. The belt fits like a bracelet with a black exterior. So you can change the gravity here and it can up to 5x gravity. Dr. Briefs pressed a few buttons on the belt and the display on the blue circle flashed 5x a couple of times. After 3 flashes, Goku felt an immense pressure forcing him to splat on the floor. Goku! It took them 30 minutes just to lift him up and press the button again with a little help of machines. Well, a lot of help. Goku looked at Dr. Briefs with an annoyed expression on his face while he put his arms up in defense. Well, I guess this is goodbye for 3 years. Goku was saying goodbye to Chi-Chi and Bulma at the entrance. He was only carrying a small bag with the gravity belt strapped tightly with a 3x on display. Goku dashed from the entrance and onto the nearby forest to experience the world. He dashed as hard as he can, making him a blur to the regular eyes. He truly did not know what to expect, but he knew he was going to have fun doing it. 7 months. 7 months in, and Goku has already seen a lot of what this world had to offer. From dinosaurs to secret underwater adventures. He has even been on pirate ships and seen numerous martial arts dojos. He was able to extract a lot of inspiration from their fighting styles and techniques. So far, he has almost finished with his 3x training. Every soil he has trekked through has sunk from the sheer weight that he is currently. 1 year and 6 months. Halfway there, and he is still discovering new things. Although civilization is more concentrated in the cities, the Badlands had also some interesting creatures and people. He has encountered enormous sandworms to a pack of 100 wolves. He has already advanced to 4x since he was 9 months in and has never taken the belt of ever. Every muscle was being trained. Every single one. 2 years and 10 months. His around-the-world trip is almost over. The best part about being strong was that he never needed money for anything. Food, water, and even clothing were all provided by animals. He just advanced to 5x gravity. He has theorized that since his body is smaller and more underdeveloped compared to his prime phase, he is unable to train more intensely. Although the training he is doing now would greatly benefit more than usual. Anyways, it is about time to start heading back to the group. Let's hurry up, Bulma. We will be late for the tourney. We have to meet up with the rest of them. Chi-Chi was exasperated with how long Bulma spent in the bathroom. She personally didn't like makeup, as she didn't really how it felt on her face, but she understood the need for it. Chi-Chi grew up to be quite the young lady at the age of 15. Her growth spurt already occurred, making her almost the same height as Bulma, with other areas growing as well. I'm sorry, Chi-Chi. This is the first time we will be seeing Goku in 3 years. Sorry if I want to at least look even more beautiful than I already am. From Bulma's words, Chi-Chi started to become really self-conscious about her looks and if Goku would find her pretty or not. Wait, why would she care if he did or not? Those thoughts really didn't help when Bulma stepped out of the house sparkling a little. Her hair was long with curves that really brought out her facial features. Bulma and Chi-Chi actually went on an adventure of their own. With Bulma's tech and Chi-Chi's small knowledge of martial arts, they were able to gather the other 6 Dragon Balls throughout the 3 years. They had talked about what they wanted to do with it despite Goku's asking them to only use it during an emergency. After hearing about Goku's race and other factors, they thought that the Dragon Balls would be the best to solve the issues that they had. They only need Goku's last ball. Speaking of the devil, before the group could load up in the helicopter to meet up with the others, they could see a storm of dirt approach them. The dirt blew up like a storm right in front of the duo, yet no dirt got on any of them. After the dust settled, a short boy emerged that the girls didn't expect. Goku! Phew, I made it! Goku panted from the full sprint that he had done for a while. The 5x gravity really was a workout considering that the pavement was partly cracked from Goku's feet. Goku took a quick shower and changed his clothes from the spares that he had left over before all of them boarded the helicopter. Bulma was very visibly disappointed when Goku was still as short as he was, but she quickly hid it, being the 19-year-old she was. It was really weird being the age that you are supposed to have puberty but in a child's body. Goku guessed that Scions didn't have puberty because of their special growing phases, or that it will come in like a truck after he grows into his prime phase. He put that thought into the back of his mind since it wasn't doing him any favors and put the focus ahead of him. The 22nd World Martial Arts Tourney. Arriving at the meetup point at the airport, they meet up with the rest of the crew. Goku! Krillin saw the trio first and noticed Goku mixed in with the girls. Everyone went up to them to greet them. You have grown a little bit, Goku? Doesn't matter. I will win this time, Yamcha said, pointing at himself with an extremely arrogant smirk. Yes, you will, Yamcha. I believe in you. Goku patted on his arm with a sincere expression on his face. So Goku, how has your training going? What is it that Bulma created to improve yourself with your trip around the world? Yeah, Bulma and her dad were working gravity manipulation and they gave me this. Goku pointed at the belt that he was currently wearing. On it was flashing the image of 2x in bright white. Goku needed to turn down the gravity or else the helicopter they came in would have been brought down from the weight. Ha! So what, is it increasing your gravity to put more stress on your body and muscles? Rashi was prodding Goku with a stick to see if it would affect the stick or Goku in some way. Before Goku could answer, Bulma injected, feeling a little too happy to be discussing science with the old coot. That is the basic premise behind it. How it works is that it calibrates the effect of gravity that is already placed on the user and enhances it to whatever degree you want. That is why his clothes and other necessities are not affected, but he is. It is only affecting him throughout his entire body. Bulma finished off her rant on the amazing technology that she made. I see. So what, right now he is at 2x gravity compared to us? Interesting. Everyone nodded at the simple explanation that Poir whipped up. They didn't really pay attention to the details, only results. Bulma didn't notice it, soaking up the fact that she is indeed a genius making Chi-Chi, and Goku look at her in pity. After talking with the crew about what they did over the 3 years that they were separated, they all heard their flight being called. They all ushered in the plane, taking up their assigned seats that were next to each other. Bulma was able to get Goku's pass last second when he showed up to her house. Pays to be friends with some of the most powerful people on Earth. They all talked some more on the short flight while Rashi was busy groping the flight attendant. We made sure to point out that we didn't know him when she asked. Landing at the airport, they quickly hailed 2 taxis that were already on the road to go to the tournament. They finally arrived at the entrance of the tournament grounds. They saw hordes of people crowd around, not letting anyone else go through. There are a lot more people here than last time. I guess the last tourney really got people riled up. Poir hovered above everyone, trying to see an end to the massive cluster of people. Everyone was heading to the spectator stands while the registration stand was pushed back a little. Poir noticed a line sort that was blocked with some rope. They headed towards that line and were about to enter before someone stopped them with their nasally voice. Why, if it isn't my former rival, the Turtle Hermit? Former, because I am way out of your league now. Walking up to them was an old man of the same aura of Master Rashi. When they locked eyes, there was a fierce clash of sparks that erupted. Why, if it isn't my former rival, the Crane Hermit? Former, because he couldn't take rejection from a lady unlike me, where I get all of them. Shun spat to the side at the old jab and snorted at the Rashi's entourage behind him. He scanned the orange outfits with disgust. No matter. Although your school was more prevalent in the last world martial arts, it was only because my school was not present. This time, however, we will stomp on you flat until you disappear with Tien and Kaioshin. Shun pointed to the tall man with an extra eye on his forehead and the pale person that was floating. Are you smoking something more severe than last time? You upped the ante from weed to cocaine? My students won't even see you in the finals, let alone compete. Humph. Not willing to put up with Rashi any longer, Shun headed to the large crowd while Tien and Kaioshin went to the presumable registration line. Who was that Master Rashi? Krillin looked between the 2 old monsters with curiosity. That was my old friend turned rival. We had the same masters, but he was led down a dark path. Not wanting to discuss it further, they all continued their way to the roped-in line. You guys here to register? It was a large man with a muscular complexion. His eyes scanned the group, resting on a few particular faces. Yeah, Goku answered simply. Only contestants. You better register or you will regret it. The non-combatants, including Rashi, grumbled before heading onto the big crowd that was formed. Goku knew that mass was going to test the patience of Bulma before she did something to get her to the front. The rest went through the line, making it very obvious that they were fighters when everyone glanced at them. They recognized the group and the crowd broke into a discussion. Goku could easily hear what they were saying. Who do you think would win? I think that Goku Kid is going to win this time. What are you saying? He was strong, but he is still as short as he was before. I think that Jackie Chun will win if he comes back. I don't see Jackie. I believe Yamcha will win. His Wolf Fang fist was cool. It wasn't long before that person was shoved out of the crowd and back into the front of the entrance. Everyone at the preliminary stage looked at the trio with a bit of fear as they walked into a whole slew of different fighters. An old man came out of the woodworks and started talking to the contestants. He basically told everyone that participants were increasing, making the tournament come every 3 years. Goku, on the corner of his eyes, saw a familiar luscious hair attached to a familiar old man. Everyone went up and grabbed a paper from the box. Everyone was on separate brackets like the plot planned. Yamcha in block 1, Goku and Krillin in block 2, Jackie in block 3. Of course, the preliminaries served as a reminder as to how brutally strong they were compared to the regular fighters. The ones in the same block as them really started to regret their life decisions and considered backing out right there. Being the douches that they are, Tien and Kaioshin came up and Tien bumped Yamcha on the should, inciting a response. And that he did when Yamcha nearly fell down. Hey, watch it, eyeball. You would think that with an extra eye, a freak like you would see where you are going. Tien stopped while Kaioshin looked worriedly at him when his expression didn't change. Tien turned around and glared at the smirking Yamcha. Better watch your back, weakling. Hope you squeal like an actual wolf when I crush you. After those words, they turned around and left. Needless to say, the prelims were pretty stale, with each fighter easily winning each round. The crew studied their rivals' abilities while they did the same, but no one was really showing too much as the fights were not hard enough. They found the others at the front after weaving through the massive crowd that was surrounding the ring. How did you guys get to the front of all those people? Krillin asked the others. Everyone looked a little embarrassed when he asked that, besides Bulma and Launch. At the same time, everyone within earshot glared at Bulma before she returned it at full force. All I did was make everyone in my way smaller with my newly invented shrink wave and went to the front. They got a free show from the bottom up anyways before I unshrank them, so I don't know why they are so touchy. At that remark, everyone in the crowd looked away while the fighting trio looked at the gun on her hand that she produced out of nowhere with great interest. An improved version of your shrink watch? Nice, Goku said with earnest. Thanks. At least someone appreciates my technology, Bulma said with a little more oomph than usual. Sure enough, the contestants were called just a few moments after. All contestant please gather at the main hall. The tournament will start soon. Entering the hall, they saw Jackie, Tien, Kairatsu, a man-wolf, and another guy with bandages wrapped around his hands. Goku was stretching himself while the announcer was getting everything ready. Krillin and Yamcha were talking amongst themselves before the nag petrol came. Looks like garbage has been smelling up the whole room. Don't worry, we will take it out soon enough. Yamcha and Krillin looked at each other in exasperation. They could not believe that this guy is still trying to talk trash. They both looked towards Goku and he was completely ignoring them both in favor of his warm-ups. Hey Goku! They are talking to us. Yamcha thought that he was a little slow at the uptake on this one. Huh? Oh, I thought they were talking to themselves. Real martial artists show their training on the stage, not by losing their dignity with talking outside of it. After that snarky answer, Krillin and Yamcha smirked at the embarrassed Tien. I'll show you. They both stormed off just as the announcer called them over to draw lots. It was the same charming announcer with his blonde hair and extravagant gestures. Let's start with last tournament's champion, Jackie Chun. Number 4, Match 2. Yamcha. Number 1, Match 1. Put. Number 7, Match 4. Tien. Number 5, Match 3. Krillin. Number 8, Match 4. Man-Wolf. Number 2, Match 1. Kairatsu. Number 3, Match 2. Goku. Number 6, Match 3. After Goku got the last card, he glanced at the smirking Tien. Staring at him for a few seconds, he adverted his gaze to Kairatsu, who was next time. He smirked when they made eye contact and put a finger on his eyes and pulled it down, revealing the red below his eyes. After they got stunned for a little, Goku left to spectate the first match. Sorry for making you wait, everyone. The 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament begins now. Everyone in the crowd cheered, nearly deafening the announcer as he sweat dropped at the excitement. From these 8, the winner will receive 500,000 zeni and be officially named the strongest under the heavens. The first match we have is someone by the name of Man-Wolf in the left corner. Not to be confused with wolfmen who turn to wolves during a full moon. Man-Wolf turns into a man during the full moon. Man-Wolf walked on stage with a certain amount of swagger in his step. And on the right corner, we have Yamcha, a contestant from the previous tournament. He is known for his wolf fang fist and judging from his GI, a student at the Turtle Hermit School. We shall see, an actual wolf versus the imitation. Let the match begin. When he heard the word imitation, he scoffed at the ludicrously from such a statement. He made the glorious wolf fang fist and is proud of such a feat, if any. You are going down, kid. I need to meet up with Jackie Chun, so I can smash his skull in. Yamcha smirked at the hot-headed man-wolf before him and decided to teach him a lesson. Humph, I will show you and everyone else what my so-called imitation is. After saying such a bold statement, he launched himself at his opponent.